Hey everyone, welcome back to another mini episode of Office Hours, where we'll be diving into some specific scholarship opportunities and getting some advice directly from past scholarship winners. I'm Kira Ranieri with Scholarships 360, and today we're focusing on the Breakthrough Junior Challenge, which is a science and math scholarship competition where students submit about a 2-minute video about a mathematical or scientific theory, concept, or principle for the opportunity to win $250,000 for their education. I am super excited to be joined with Amber Kwok, who won the Breakthrough Junior Challenge in 2021. Hi, Amber. How are you?
Hi, doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, to start, why don't you kind of take me back about when you first heard about the Breakthrough Junior Challenge, and what about the challenge made you want to apply?
Yeah, for sure. That's really bringing me back to all of the memories here. I remember I learned about the competition through an email from Khan Academy, who is a partner of the Breakthrough Junior Challenge, really explaining the competition. The competition looked really interesting. It blended together my interest in science and this new thing about video editing and like making videos, which I never really got into. So this really got me intrigued to really learn more about it. And so from there, I went on their website, watched videos from past winners, looked at the criterias and like how it is like to apply. And I thought that the competition was, first of all, really cool. And two, had really cool prizes, and three, had really cool opportunities because at the time I knew I was very interested in science, but I have never really made a video before. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to at least learn, grow new skills, and put all of these together and maybe win the competition too. And so I took part.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's definitely cool to hear about how, even if you didn't have that much experience necessarily in video making, you still felt called to, take this opportunity and use it as a learning opportunity, I think is a really great way to look at the challenge. So I guess that's one of the bigger aspects of the challenge is the fact that it is a video scholarship compared to like writing an essay or something like that, which is a little more unique. Could you walk me through kind of what your process was of making your application video?
Yeah, for sure. I remember my process was super, super interesting because I had never really made a video in the past. And so I started off with kind of like finding my topic, and that was really tough because I remember the pool of topics that you could choose from was so large. And so I would probably argue that this was probably one of the hardest parts of the competition too. So took a lot of time to really brainstorm a lot of concepts, read more, and kind of diverge. Let myself explore a lot of topics which existed within some areas that I was really interested in. And I picked one which I think, first of all, resonated the most to me. And second, I thought that I could explain best in my own creative way and put in my own creative voice in there. And so I chose the topic through there. Then the next part was kind of creating a script and a plot. The large part of it was to kind of simplify it, make it really concise because there's the time limit of 2 minutes here. But at the same time, really put emphasis on bringing those concepts to life. And so here I had little animations and analogies and metaphors and applications to real life, which I thought was very unique to my voice. And I really dived deeper into like really making it like my unique way of explaining this topic. And then finally was the video editing part, which I thought was the most daunting part, but it ended up being really, really fun. I learned how to use Premiere Pro and After Effects for the first time ever through the competition itself. And so there I kind of like thought of like things that I wanted to animate and went on YouTube, like try to learn it on my own, try to make like small test videos of like how it could be put together before doing it to my actual video. And I thought that learning process was super, super, super valuable. And after that, I submitted my application and went through the rounds of judging, the peer-to-peer review, the different rounds of judging before the winner was announced. And that was my process.
Yeah. Yeah. Kudos to you because I know like After Effects and Premiere are beasts of programs. So, when I was first, I learned them in college, thankfully. And so, when I was first approaching them, I was like, these are so overwhelming. And I think, obviously that technical aspect can be a little bit difficult for some students, but it's cool now that there's so many tools like YouTube to like be able to self teach yourself how to use these programs to be able to elevate your video. So, I guess on that note, what would you say are some of the qualities that you really want to highlight in your video, whether that's technical or just storytelling, something along those lines?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think there are like maybe three big things that I really wanted to emphasize in my own video. First of all, was a very deep understanding of the topic. Because it was a topic that I chose that was way above my grade level, it involved really going into reading a lot from textbooks, so not for like high schoolers, and watching a lot of other videos and also reading a lot of research papers to really understand every single part of the topic before simplifying it, because it was just like it would help really like to compress like the whole idea overall. So first of all was a really deep understanding, making sure that all of the terminologies were correct and that everything was correct. Second part that I really wanted to emphasize was the simplification of the complex ideas through kind of analogies, metaphors, applications. From a lot of readings, I have found that I really loved the way that science first of all appears all around you, and second could be distilled into new technologies and kind of explain how new technologies work. And I really wanted to kind of explain my topic by first of all explaining the topic, and second putting it with like all of the applications and the real world examples. And so I think that was like my unique way of explaining my concept. And for that, I think that I really put emphasis on like really distilling, simplifying the concepts and also applying it a lot to like what's going on around the world. And third is a lot of the clear communication. In 2 minutes, it's really hard to fit in every single thing about a topic. And so it was there was a lot of cherry picking. What are the main areas that are important, whether or not, what is maybe less important within the topic, and how can I make my video as clear as possible for like people who have never heard about it before and make it super approachable to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that 2-minute time frame window is definitely really tough to be able to articulate, especially something that's really complicated. So I think it's a great point that you make of trying to distill it down to make it more approachable, bring in those real world analogies to be able to, really kind of think who you're explaining this to, thinking of your audience and everything like that. I think that's really great, kind of a practical advice for any students who are considering applying this year. I'd love to know, you kind of like briefly touched on your winning of the scholarship. I'd love to know kind of what that reaction was like for you.
Wow, that is bringing back so many cool memories. Um, I remember that it was just a magical moment. It was my brain was just short circuiting. I could not understand what's going on around me. They made a really good job. They did a really good job with making it a really good surprise. And so I was told I was going to be filming a video for a teacher who was retiring. And so when I got into the school, um, I saw like all of the set and all of the video makers and everything, but I did not really clock in that that was going to be my announcement video. So I sat down there and they asked me to turn around, and when I turned around, I saw Sal Khan and all of the previous winners there congratulating me. And from there, it was just a magical moment. I remember just being so excited, because I knew that my life would just change in the most positive way from there.
Wow, that's such a special story. It's also so nice they brought in like past winners to congratulate you. I'd love to know kind of how you said, like, obviously, that this was kind of a life changing moment for you. How has winning the Breakthrough Junior Challenge kind of influenced not only your college journey, but maybe career aspirations?
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good question. I think for one, winning the Breakthrough Junior Challenge has been one of the most, and even participating in it has been one of the most influential points in my life. Because, as you mentioned, with the education aspect, the scholarship has opened the doors for me to being able to study at my dream school, Stanford. And for two, has also allowed me to find my passion in the applications of science and engineering, which eventually shaped the 4 years of undergrad that I went through after that. And second was also like kind of the community aspect of it because I mean, winning the Breakthrough Junior Challenge kind of gave me the platform to promote science education within my region for a lot of younger students and support their access to resources and infrastructure through the really amazing Breakthrough Prize Lab. And so from there, I also got to watch so many other students' videos from around the world, connect with so many inspiring past winners, also from around the world. And at the Breakthrough Prize ceremony, meet so many scientists who I have admired for so long and speak to them about their work and their impact on the world. And so I think this competition also gave me the insane opportunity to experience the scientific community, both by building one in my local community, but also bridging it to becoming one, part of one globally. And third, in terms of my future aspirations, through the competition, I have learned that I really, really love really understanding the interdisciplinary aspects of kind of understanding the world around me and the applications of science and math to solve problems around the world. And so post-grad, I'll be going to consulting, which I think really bridges all of these skill sets that I have learned throughout the competition together, like simplifying complex concepts, analogies, like creative ways of explaining concepts all together, but also ties together my interdisciplinary interests in the application of scientific principles into new technologies and products, which I have discovered through the competition as well.
Wow, that's amazing. I think it's so cool that not only were you able to get access to like a new scientific community of all these professional scientists, but also to be able to kind of build things for your local community is really amazing. And it's a very unique opportunity that this scholarship has given you. You know, other scholarships do usually like give you access to an alumni network, but that local aspect too, I think is really, really special. I guess my final question to wrap things up is kind of a two-parter. So first, what would your overall advice be specifically for the Breakthrough Junior Challenge? And second, what overall advice would you have for just scholarships in general?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say, first of all, to all the listeners out there, I would very strongly encourage everyone to participate in the Breakthrough Junior Challenge. It has been one of the most influential points in my life. It has changed my life in the most positive way. And I think that even participating in the challenge allows you to learn so much in the process. So I would very strongly encourage everyone to participate. And in terms of more specific advice with regards to the Breakthrough Junior Challenge, I would say, pick something that you're really curious about that keeps you motivated throughout the research and editing process. Think of really creative ways of like explaining the topic in your own voice because I think this unique aspect is very beautiful and it really allows you to really project your own unique voice when explaining a topic that you are passionate about. And also don't be afraid and don't be daunted by the fact that there is video editing to be involved in everything because that's something you can 100% learn throughout the process. I think for the second part, in terms of like the scholarship aspect, for one, I'd say definitely spread your net wide with a lot of scholarships that are out there. But then second, really pick something that you think is very unique to you and give it 100% your all because a lot of those scholarships help you learn so much about yourself and also helps to kind of learn more about a specific area and influences you in so many positive ways. And so I think that it's very magical in that sense. And it's also very beautiful in that sense to really give it your all every time you apply.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really great practical advice for students because Obviously, it's great to try and apply to as many scholarships as possible, but it's also really important to try and find those scholarships that are tailored towards your specific interests, because I think that's really where students see the most success, is when they're really passionate about whatever scholarship topic they're applying to. So that way they can really give any sort of scholarship committee or panel a better sense of who they are through their passion. Well, thanks again, Amber, for chatting with me. It was so great for our viewers to get some more insights about this opportunity and hear about your experience. I'm sure it's going to be really helpful and super exciting for all the students who are taking on the challenge this year. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you guys in our next mini episode. Thanks for tuning into Office Hours. The Breakthrough Junior Challenge is open now and accepting applications through September 15th. You can learn more about the Breakthrough Junior Challenge on Scholarships 360, and while you're at it, you can create a free account on Scholarships 360 to start getting matched to great scholarship opportunities like this one. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.